If only you knew that the scripture says in Proverbs 22:6 that you train up a child in the way that he or she should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. If you do not get a hold of this child and train him and cover him or her, they're going to get training. It's going to either come from the streets, social media, television programming, the wrong role models. They're going to get training. And if they don't get the proper training, they're going to end up a criminal statistic. I want to share something with you. I joined the LA Fitness about 4 or 5 years ago. I would leave work and bring my gym bag with me, go in, they had lockers and everything, and change and do my workout and come back. But one day I went in to work out and I noticed that the lock hooks were bent. And there was people going to the front desk complaining, hey, people been robbing these lockers. Somebody been robbing these lockers. And I went in and I noticed that lockers were broken off and these lockers were robbed. People's belongings were taken out of these lockers, but I noticed that my lock was still on there. It was beat to death. It was bent up and all crooked and dented in and looked like Gumby's head, tore up. But it still turned and you could still dial it and click and open it up. Master lock. Never forgot this. So I became concerned. Came to work out another day, and I noticed this guy with a pickup truck. He was just kind of circling around the parking lot, just parking and pulling out, and parking and pulling out. And I started watching him, and I was like, is he trying to rob somebody? And he saw me looking at him, and he just pulled off. So anyway, I took my bag, put it in the back seat, and covered it with the visor, went on and did my workout. When I came out from my workout, my lock, the whole doorknob was torn off, ripped off the door. And my briefcase was taken out of the back seat. It had my checkbook and my credit cards in it. I took it to work because I wanted to do some accounting during my lunch break. Immediately, I called and canceled the cards. Then I had the uneasy rest that night. Woke up early, called my job and said I won't be coming in. I said, let me just see what's going on here with my checks and with my credit cards and see if I called it in time. I called the bank. My credit cards were not ran and my debit card was not negotiated. So I immediately had those stopped and called and had them issue me new cards. The other ones were going to explain to the bank what happened. They were good. I was wondering about the checks and I got a call from the police up in the northern part of the Metro Atlanta area. And they said, we got 2 individuals running around trying to cash your checks. Did you write these checks? Did you give these people these checks? I said, no, sir. I've already filed 3 police reports to the 3 local counties. I said, do I need to come there and identify them or identify the checks? He said, no, we got it. He said, they're under arrest. They have no idea, no proof. They're under arrest and we're handling that. I said, okay. So next thing that happened, I got a call from my other bank and they said, can I speak with Mr. Shores? I said, is this Mr. Shores? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, we've got checks here that were presented to the bank to be drawn off your account. One's for $450, one's for $375, one's for $280, and one's for $199. And I didn't even have that amount in the bank at that time. And they said, "Did you write these checks, Mr. Shores?" I said, "No, I did not write those checks. I was robbed. They got my credit cards and my checkbooks, and this is a part of that." They said, "Thank you." They said, "We're going to close this account. We're not going to negotiate these checks, and you need to open up a new account." And I said, "Thank you very much." And they said, "You're welcome." The third phone rang. "Is this Mr. Vaughn Shores?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. What's going on?" She said, "You wrote my daughter a check for $900. She's only 16. She's only 16. What does she do for $900? I said, ma'am. I said, "I was robbed. They took my checks. They took my credit cards. I'm off work now, filing reports with the local counties, the sheriff's department, and the police department. Your daughter somehow got mixed up with that, and she doesn't even know me." So, the mother said, "Thank you." She hung up. And I'm sure she got a hold of her daughter and went to town on her. I ain't gonna, get into detail, but I'm sure she got, in the words of Mr. Buford Shores, a whooping. I'm sure she got straightened out on that situation. So I'm thinking, we get a nice gym in this neighborhood, and then this happens. I had to take my car into the shop and get the door fixed, get a new lock put on. And I waited about 2 or 3 weeks till I calmed down and felt things were better. And I went back to the gym. And I was coming into the gym, and there was a guy outside the front of the gym. And he said, "Excuse me, sir, can I use your phone? Can I use your phone?" And I'm like hesitating, like, "What you gonna do with my phone? You gonna take it and run, and all this stuff going on over here? What you need the phone for?" He said, "Man, I was in the LA Fitness gym getting a workout. I was playing basketball, and I had my little gym bag and my stuff sitting there by the court side while I was shooting ball. And when I got back, they took my wallet. I had cash in there, credit card, and my phone." And I looked at him and I said, "You know what, brother?" I said, "I believe you." I said, "Here, go and make your phone call." He was dialing numbers that he could remember. People at his house, his wife or girlfriend, trying to call and get his card stopped. He was just in a tizzy. And I let him take his time and take care of what he needed to take care of. And after he handed my phone back, he said, "I don't think this gym is going to work out. This is crazy over here." And I looked at him and I said, "Brother," I said, "you're right." I said, "I've seen enough." I turned around like that scene on Swamp Thing. Turned around, boom. And I walked back to my car and I got in it and I drove away from that gym and didn't go back. Not to that gym. And I like to stay fit, I work out, but not over there. So, what's the problem over there? What the problem is somebody didn't go by Proverbs 22:6 to train up a child in the way that he or she should go, and then they won't depart from it. But they let society. Let me tell you one incident when I was walking out of the gym one day. There was a man with a pipe about this long, and he was going to the car. The pipe was hollow with a hook on the end of it. He was going, looking in the cars and trying to, and I'm like, what is he doing? He had a little boy with him, couldn't have been no more than 8, 10 years old. And he saw me coming, and he snatched the boy, and he went on and cut through some other cars and went on. This man was robbing cars and training an 8, 9-year-old kid how to do the same thing. Train up a child, Proverbs 22:6, in the way he should go, and he won't depart from it. When he is old, he won't depart. He is creating a criminal. He is creating a menace to society. He is creating another statistic. What are we doing? We got to get involved with these young men. We've got to be examples. We've got to do what we can. I was outside of McDonald's heading to a football game a couple of fall seasons ago. And these two brothers were just hanging out. Looked like they were waiting for somebody, some easy prey. It was getting late. Wasn't too many people coming out that back door. Looked like they were waiting for some easy prey. And I saw them. And I said, I'm going to do something. I walked up to them and I spooked them. I said, hey, how y'all doing? How you young men doing? Why don't y'all come in and have something to eat on me? They're looking at each other. I said, come on. I went in. I said, these guys, they're having a meal on me. I said, yes, ma'am. I'll ring them up, whatever they want them to take care of it. And these boys are looking at each other. And then boy finally went up and said, oh, I'm going to have the nugget meal and fries and the drink and the apple pie. I said, that's fine. I said, what you want? And he went, looked, and he ordered a hamburger or something. Then I went and got me something. I went over there and talked to them a little bit. And they're sitting there looking at me and they're eating their food and they're looking. I messed them up. I messed those young men up. We got to get busy and we got to mess up the plan of the enemy to destroy our young men. We got to mess them up. We got to catch them some kind of way. We got to redirect them. We got to put some positive things in front of them so they can move and be positive contributors to society instead of menaces to society. We've got to do something. A lot of these young men, they're not going to church. They're not going to Bible study. They're not going to youth camp. Their parents aren't paying for youth development centers for them. They're not paying for mentors for them. So what's going to happen? They're going to fall by the wayside. They're going to get pulled in, and they're going to end up dead or a statistic, a prison statistic. So men, brothers, people that have hands and feet and means that can reach out. I mean, you have to be wise. You can't jump out there in the middle of the ghetto, pull up in your Benz in the middle of the ghetto and expect you're going to drive out of there in one piece. Can't be stupid. But when you see the chance to touch somebody's life, to help somebody, we need to do it. These young men that are selling water bottles in the street, they're trying to make $1. They're selling water bottles. Buy a doggone water bottle. They need the money. Give them $5 for a water bottle. Give them $2 or $3. Well, I already drank my water. I'm good. Well, then get the water anyway and give it away. That young man that's selling the water bottles, he's trying. He's trying to do something. Another incident. I got out of my car and this young man was walking toward me. Young black man was walking toward me. He said, excuse me, sir. And I looked at him and I was like, whoa, I mean, I didn't do all that. I'm just playing. He said, my wife's at the house. I got a baby and she sent me out to get formula, diapers, and things for the baby. And I just don't have enough money. And I just wondered if you could help me. And I looked at him and I said, sir, I'm going to go park and I'm going to go in that drugstore right over there and you meet me over there. I said, I'm going to walk through there with you. Any stuff for the baby you put in that cart, I'm going to take care of it for you. I'm going to take care of it. I was feeling real good about myself. But guess what the young man did? He did this. He said, no. And he turned around and he took off and he got out of there. We got to be wise. If the young man was telling the truth, he would have took up that deal. Who's going to pass up that deal? What? He would have took that deal, but he didn't because he was trying to manipulate and do something else with the money. We got to be wise. We got to be vigilant, but we can't just close them off and look down at them like you scum of society. Look at you. You don't know what made him like that. If it wasn't for God, where would we be? You have to step out. You have to get out of your comfort area and you have to try to make a difference. You that are able. But you can give out of your abundance, your time, your wisdom, your substance, and make a difference in the lives of some of these young black men that are lost, that did not get the upbringing and covering that you got. You can reach out and you can touch them. Let's make a difference. You. I'm Doc V. You get out there and do something. I'll see you next time.